Well, hello there, stamping friends. This is Traci Raether from Plum Crazy Stamping. So happy to be here today for our weekly card making lesson. Today is Wednesday, November 6th, almost a whole week into November already. Time flies when you're having fun. Anyway, very excited to share with you the paper pumpkin kit from October of 2024. And as I do that today, when you join me, please sign in the comments who you are, where you're watching from. And if you're doing that on Facebook, just do it in the comments. And if you're on YouTube, you need to be in your Google account or your YouTube account, and then you can use the comments as well. And if you watch this on replay, please sign in. And if you have any follow-up questions or feedback on the kit, don't hesitate to continue to use the comments. They still come to me and I will respond, even if it's after the broadcast. All right, so let's get down to business and have some fun. And I am going to let you see my desktop here. Now, for those of you that are not aware of Paper Pumpkin, this is our monthly subscription program, and you can order it month by month. You can order it in 3, 6, or 12-month increments. I think I've shared with you, my husband buys me this every year, and I get a gift from him every month, and I absolutely love it. So when it comes, we get a brief description now and get a picture of something that might be part of the kit, but it's still a surprise. And they let me know when it's been put in the mail, and I can watch my mailbox. I can actually track it now and get this present when it comes. Sometimes they're in these beautiful special boxes, which this one came in a special box, and they are wrapped in tissue paper. Now this month, it was in red tissue paper. And there are actually die cuts and, envelopes. There are card bases. So here are the card bases for this project. So I'm just going to take those out. We always get a stamping spot, at least one, and this is shaded spruce this month. And then a stamp set. And what's really nice is they've started including these printed picture of what the stamp set is. And then I just slide the stamp set inside here and I keep it in a recipe box. Then also is included in this the adhesive. So I have tear and tape and dimensionals for this set. Now I kind of use what I have open and save those things and use them if I need to. Also, many die cuts come with this set. I have sentiment labels that I'm going to be stamping on. We've got some red ribbon here already cut and ready to go. So I have those pieces gathered for my project today. So I'm just going to set this out of the way. I don't think I will need that. All right, and then the other thing is full colored instructions come in addition to all the parts and pieces of the kit project and all of the either embellishments. A lot of times we'll get gems in here and we have the ink. And then on this in all full color, a long time ago they weren't in all full color, it tells you how to assemble the parts and pieces for each project in the kit. So this one has 2 separate projects because let's see, we're going to make, there's enough parts and pieces in here to make 10 cards, 5 of 2 different kinds of cards. Now here's the inside scoop today. At the end, I'm going to do the 2 projects for the kit as they're designed, but I am going to take one of each of those 2 card bases and 2 envelopes, and I'm going to make 10 cards out of just 2 cards today. And that's what I love. It's kind of my challenge with these projects to see what I can do with them. So I'm looking forward to showing you that. And I've decided to go a little bit further today and show you how I take this kit and actually plan out my card design to make more out of the kit. So I'm going to actually go through those steps today with you. Hi, Kim. Nice to see you. And Betty and Kathy. Wonderful to see you. And Kathy, I love this kit too. It is so simple, but it is beautiful. So, all right, let's go ahead and first what we're going to do is the 2 projects that I have as a part of this. And then we're going to get into the alternatives and the process I use for card design. But before I forget that, I do want to tell you many times Stampin' Up! Will coordinate a paper pumpkin with something in the catalog. So if you want to get more out of it, you have some additional supplies to do that. Now, in my alternatives today, I am just going to use my paper pumpkin. But this suite in the mini holiday catalog is called Nests of Winter. And there is a beautiful DSP set that goes with this. There are additional birds. This set we're going to use today actually has a cardinal in it. This stamp set, Winterly Treetops, which is a part of the suite, has 2 other bird stamps, some different foliage and additional sentiments, and then the pieces to actually, I'm sorry, the dies to cut that out. There is some linen thread in here that matches these colors, as well as shimmer gems and a birchwood embossing folder. So just a little FYI, in case you already own this, know that this is an opportunity to bring these 2 wonderful things together. All right, let's look at project 1 here. All right, so let me first show you this envelope up close. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's shiny. Oh, I like metallic, shiny things. Okay, so that is the envelope for this. I'm just going to kind of set that to the side. We've got a tri-fold card base here. So kind of flip that over so you can see the tri-fold. And it's already scored, and it has a part that we're going to be able to pop out here. And we've got some die cuts that are designed for this card, as well as the ribbon. So, all right, let's go to the directions on project 1. Okay, and it's telling me that I am actually going to pop out the die cut of one of the folds on this. So we'll just set that aside. And let's see, we're going to do a little stamping on here. I'm going to get my extra piece of cardstock out of the way too. All right, let's remember our stamps in Paper Pumpkin are photopolymer. So I do use the Pierce mat for that. And I'm going to find a just some scrap paper here to put underneath it. And it is showing me on the diagram, which is really nice, you know, that I'm using the shaded spruce ink spot. It tells me what stamp I'm using and then where I'm doing the stamping. So this is obviously going to be the front of the card, and that's why it wants me to stamp on here. Paper Pumpkin, Stampin' Up, whoever designed this. Let me open up my shaded spruce here. And we'll get our little evergreen sprig and do a little stamping on here. And it looks like around the edges, on opposite corners, they want a little bit of this to be stamped. So I will go ahead and follow directions for right now. Second half of this broadcast is where I go rogue and I don't have to follow the directions. Well, and I don't have to follow them now either, but I'm showing you the project as it's designed. Okay. Sometimes I forget how much just doing a little something adds to a card. So, I kind of encourage you think about that when you're doing your cards, because just doing a little something does make a difference. So let me just put this up closer. So let's see. Can you see the pine stamping on there? Okay. And then also I'm going to go ahead right now and I'm going to stamp my sentiment. And this one I'm going to take 2 stamps. I'm just going to set this off to the side and do Merry Christmas. So they are 2 separate stamps. And we're going to put Merry up here in the corner. All right, and there we go. And then we're going to do Christmas. Now, these are nice sentiments I'll probably use on other Christmas cards this year, too. Okay, we have our Merry Christmas. All right, so we've got our stamping done. All right, we need to, I'm going to move this so I don't stick something accidentally in there. I'm going to take the tear and tape that they provided here for the red ribbon part. Here it is. And I'm just going to put a strip of it underneath the ribbon that they actually have all even cut for me. I mean, how easy is that? Somebody wants to cut the ribbon for me, I'm all for it. All right, I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. If you don't have one of these, folks, this is the greatest gift, the greatest just little secret weapon I have in all my crafting. Anyway, a must-have. All right, so we've got that ready. Now we have to put some dimensionals on the back of our die cuts. So let's go ahead, and it's nice that they show you open circle for things that are dimensionals, and if you have mini glue dots, they're little black dots, but there's none in this set. So we're going with the full-on dimensionals. And remember, we have 2 sizes. These are the regular size ones that I'm using right now. And then it even shows me kind of where to place them. So I'm trying to figure this out, because I'm sure they don't want me to stick it in the center area. They want it on the frame itself when I put the greenery on here. All right, so we've got that done. Let's take all of this paper adhesive off of here. All right, and we're ready to put this together. So let me just set this to the side a bit, and we'll go ahead and use our bone folder to crease the card itself. And then we're going to put this part inside. Ooh, and this also metallic. Gorgeous. Okay, and then this goes down. All right, so the first thing we're going to do now, this is a landscape card, so I'm going to put it landscape. I'm going to take the ribbon that is going to go underneath the sentiment label, and I'm just going to place this. Let me just kind of test it out here so I can make sure I have the distance correct. So I'm just going to hold this part that'll go over it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And I want to get that straight. Okay. And then I need to put my, I'm going to use mini dimensionals on the corners of this, to secure it to the card front. And they're having me do it on each side of the ribbon, so it's kind of flat. Well, I have to tell you all, I missed you last week when I was sick and did not have a voice. If I talk for a while, my voice might get a little deep as well, but I am surely feeling so much better. So I apologize for missing my time with you. There we go. Okay, Merry Christmas is there. And now we're going to add the die cuts. And so we've got the foliage here. And where I'm ending up with my dimensionals, actually, I won't press real hard, but let me kind of set this up so I'm got it where I think they need to go. Yeah, perfect. Okay, press that on. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the cardinal on here. So very pretty. And that's popped up on top of that. And then, oh my, I have the dimensional kind of high up on this cardinal. Let me go ahead and move it down a little bit. There, now it won't stick. I'm like, why is that sticking? Because I put it too high. Okay. So there is our first card. And then you open and you can decorate inside here. Obviously, there are additional stamps in here. We could use the greenery, you know, put another cardinal in here. We've got dots we can put in here, an additional sentiment. There are berries to go with the greenery. So, you know, you can do whatever you want, but this is a nice card. The other thing is there's enough room here to mount a photograph and then also write in here. So this would be great for someone that likes to send pictures. So kind of an extra bonus when you have a trifold card. All right, and now that goes with this beautiful envelope. So there is card number 1. And I'll take a look at that. That was so easy, you guys. And you know what? I actually have a piece that I can use as a card front. You know, so I'm going to even add to the additional cards that I'm going to be able to make with this set just by using this. Okay, let me set this to the side. And we'll put this extra cardstock to the side. And let's get out project 2 in this kit. And let's flip our directions over. We'll get all our parts and pieces out of here. Okay, another envelope. We've got a red ribbon in this one too. And sentiment label. We've got 3 different die cuts for this card. And more metallic and punches out. And once again, this is going to be another extra that we can use to make a card front. Gosh, all kinds of bonuses today. And then this has the tri-panel, right? So this is already folded. Let's go ahead and fold the front part over and use our bone folder for that. And we'll have our card base ready. A little non-traditional with actually some Night of Navy, blueberry bushel, and granny apple green. Sometimes I wouldn't think of using those other colors. All right, let's see. We have to do some stamping here. This time we're just going to be stamping the sentiment. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Got my sentiment label here. Open up my ink again. Okay, and this one says, joyful thoughts to you this season. Very nice sentiment. Okay. And we'll just center that on this label. And there we go. And I like the font has, you know, a darker section and a little bit lighter. That kind of looks cool. All right, I'm going to just get this out of our way again. There we go. And get my tear and tape again to put on the back of the red ribbon. Boy, that's easy to put on ribbon. I haven't used it that much on the back of ribbon. Easy peasy. All right, let's go ahead and do our dimensionals on the back of our die cuts. Now, this would be a great gift for a beginner stamper. Just doing some sentiments and, you know, the pine branch, and then putting on dimensionals and really having a feeling of accomplishment with something so very pretty. That is easy to do, right? Let's see, we're going to put that one right there. Knowing that these are, let's see, if I orient them the way they are on the instructions, it helps me to get the dimensional in the right spot. Okay, we've got that there. And let's see. Oh, this one needs 3. And I think I'm out of the, oh, I have 2 on here. Nope, I have exactly 3. Way to go. Oh, I even have a few more than that. Okay. And then let's see, where do we want this one right here? Okay. Then let me just take all that adhesive off. Now, the Take Your Pick tool helps pull these off too if you want to use that. My nails grew just a little bit, just enough to be able to get under that adhesive. If I have them cut short, it's kind of a little more challenging. Oh, I know I need to put those 4 mini dimensionals on the back of this sentiment again, because we'll be putting it over the ribbon. I've been using a lot of dimensionals while I've been working on my Christmas cards. I've been using layering as one of my techniques on my cards. So I'm using up dimensionals. I think I might have to put them on my wish list and get myself some new ones. All right, I think I have it all ready now. Let's go ahead and place the red ribbon. Let me get the paper covering off of that, though. There we go. Hi, Betty and Vicki. So nice to see you. All right, so this is going to go right in the center here. What a great example of, you know, having a nice opening on your card and then, you know, having a sentiment be the center here. So we'll get that on. And now we're going to put the die cuts around it. So let's see, we've got the this one on the top. And once again, I'm just trying to keep track of where my dimensionals are so I don't glue it closed by having the dimensionals in the wrong spot. And then we have this die cut, and let me see where the dimensionals are. 2 spots here. Okay. And then this one's going to be layered on top of that. So we'll kind of make sure we can see both of those birds. Very cute. And those birds match the ones in the other stamp set. So that's nice. All right. And then voila, this card is done. And once again, lots of room to write or put photographs. And this one's more portrait. instead of landscape with the same beautiful envelope. So before I move these off my desktop, here are the two finished. I don't think I pushed that hard enough with my bone folder. All right, so we've got those two are the project cards. And like I said, 5 of these and 5 of these for a total of 10 cards. Okay. But now comes the fun part. Okay. So I'm going to move these, and these are all well and good. And if you want to just use these to make your cards, they're going to be beautiful. But if you have a longer Christmas card mailing list, then let me help you make more cards out of this kit. Okay. So as I was looking at the directions, after I get set up to kind of do the projects, then I take a look at what's in the kit here, and I look at the colors that coordinate with what's in the kit. And so this had a lot of coordinating colors. And so what I did is, now, whether or not you have used the color coach information I've provided to you at various times, I have all of the cardstock. These are suggestions for other colors that they go with, but I just went through the colors that are listed here on the instructions and pulled out shaded spruce, coastal cabana, blueberry bushel, night of navy, granny apple green, real red, and daffodil delight. Now, those are all in this kit. Now, Daffodil Delight is as little as the beak on the cardinal. The red berries, the red ribbon, and the cardinal itself. Otherwise, these are all kind of what are in the backgrounds, okay? So after I looked at all these colors and I decided of the list, there's a few more colors on here, but I wasn't interested in using those. Then I actually go to my file cabinet where I have all of my colored cardstock, and I actually have a lot of it cut already into half of an 8.5 by 11, so it can easily be my card base, or they can easily be cut into card fronts, you know, the 4 by 5.25. So I've got those all laid out here. And then the background of the cards, so then I take the cards, right, and kind of lay these out. And I look at all these colors. Well, also the background on this is white. So then I thought, you know what, for card bases routinely, I'm going to use 4.25 by 11, which is also just a half a sheet of cardstock, but cut the portrait way and then scored at 5.25. Okay, no fun folds this time. I'm just going to do standard card bases. So let me put this underneath here. All right, so then with that, I have all of this on the side, and then I start doing what I want to do to take apart the card bases, okay? And that part I've already done, but I'm going to walk you through me doing that again, okay? So let's just set this to the side. You know, I have the 2 card bases, and oh, you know what I think I need? Nope, I'll have this one. So the card envelope, okay? So I actually have 2 of these and then 1 of each of these. So I still have 4 card bases and 8 envelopes that I'm not touching, right? Except for making like the actual kit. Okay, so let's start with this card number 1. I'm going to just set these other ones I'm going to be working with to the side and show you what I decided to do. So remember, this will pop right out, right? So when I popped this out, and then I actually cut this into 3 card fronts, but I'm going to do some things with them so that they all look a little different. All right, so let me set that to the side, and let's go to the first one that I did. Remember, I have the, I said I was going to use 4 1/4 by 11 and have this, way. If your scoring is just a little off, if you put the edges together and bring your finger up to the top and use it like your bone folder and then go over it, you can straighten it out. Sometimes, you know, it says it's like a 1/16 of an inch off, but then I can get it so that the edges match. All right. Well, what I did is I'm going to use the first section I cut off where I had taken out the center. I'm going to use that as a frame. So I'm just going to glue that on top of this card. Now, where'd my glue go? Here it is. So I'm using my mono adhesive. And I'm just going to go around the edge. Maybe. There, finally I get it to start. I must have left it open on my desktop a little bit. Okay. And then that perfectly matches. So I'm just going to, you know, press it down a little bit. And there is my first card base, you know, using just a part of that card 1. So we'll set that here. Okay, then the second one, I decided I liked the light color, which is Coastal Cabana. And then I took the Coastal Cabana cardstock to make my card base. And I just scored that at 4 1/4. Here's that center that I popped out of here. And to make it pop on this card, I just took a white piece of cardstock and cut this at 1/8 more so that I could just have it pop off the front of it. Okay, so now I'm just going to layer this. Like I told you, I've been making Christmas cards and doing a lot of layering. So that's kind of the approach I took to make more out of these cards. Then I'm just going to center this. And I've also been having a really good time doing just thin borders. I think I might do a couple of the more like 1/4 inch ones, but this is a thin border. And you know what? I even like using this and popping those up from the front of the card. So let me see if I have. I'll tell you, I've been going through dimensionals like water. Let me get out some more. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to flip this over and go ahead and secure this card front. You know, once I had gathered all my supplies and set this up to figure out how I wanted to do each of these card bases, literally took me a half hour. So, you know, if you have your color coordinated items and your trimmer, just putting these pieces together. Now I'm assembling them, which is in addition to that half hour, but that's how long it took me just to think up how I wanted to do this. So that went pretty quick. All right. And then, now this is the additional panel, right? And here's the white card base. And this one I'm just going to actually glue to the front. Okay, so they're all just a little different. So there is 3 of the, actually I'm getting 4 card fronts, 4 cards out of this first tri fold card base because it had that center that popped out, right? And then I really loved the little dots with the granny apple green and with this metallic non-traditional Christmas card, right? But so beautiful with the granny apple green. So I decided to do that, and then I just trimmed a little off of this so that it would fit as the whole card front. Okay, so we have 4 card bases out of that first card in the project, right? So we've got those. Now we'll go to this second card. So once again, it's a tri-fold, and remember this popped out. So I'm going to get 4 card bases out of this one too. So the first one was just cutting part of the tri-fold off here, putting it on my white cardstock. Gluing this on. Now I am gluing this flat down, but knowing these type of card panels with the openings, these make perfect shaker cards. So if you wanted to be making a shaker card, you're all set up to do that with this one, right? But I'm just making that my card front. And then taking the inside of this one, I really liked how that popped just on the shaded spruce. So let's see. I think I'm going to have this one pop up on the front. Just add some interest. The other thing is I could put a complementary color from all these colors and emboss it and make an additional layer for this card. You know, the opportunities here are kind of endless. Whatever you can think up and put together, and you know, maybe there's a card or two you want to do triple layers. So, and remember, this could go down, it could go up. I am going to center it. Okay, so we've got another card there. Then just taking another piece of shaded spruce from my cardstock stash, and then I trimmed this down from one of the additional panels. Now I'm also kind of doing this in the way that if I'm making multiples, I kind of do all my steps at the same time. I think it goes a little faster because after I get all these card bases made, you know, then I'll go and add focal images, sentiments, and then the last step will be embellishing it. Kind of keeps me going, and maybe, you know, my mind is on making different types of card bases. You know, I'm not getting distracted by, sometimes I can do some elaborate card design stuff, and I don't want to get there because I wanted to show you how to do this and make it easy for you. Because if you are in the Christmas card making mode, you know, being able to put these together efficiently is nice. Okay, here is the third panel again, just trimmed a little. Now this is Blueberry Bushel, so another non-traditional color for Christmas card in Granny Apple Green. I thought this was just beautiful. So let's put this card base on top of that layer, and then we'll pop that whole layer up on the front of this card. Okay, and I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this one. Okay. And there we go with that. Okay. So there's 4 out of that card base. And now let's have a crack at the envelopes here. So I'm going to take, once again, the same white card base. And then let me bring my card trimmer in here. Paper trimmer, card trimmer. Oh, thanks, Kathy. I'm glad I'm feeling better too. Shauna, nice to see you here. Okay, so now for the envelope, little planning here. The card base itself. So see, it would be very hard to get that to go around it. So, what to do so that I make best use of the designs? I'm going to do this a little differently than sometimes. Sometimes you guys will see me slice the sides down on here. Actually, this time I'm going to actually pull apart the envelope very carefully. Okay. Then I'm going to open the flaps, and I'm going to start doing a little trimming here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to keep this corner of the design that's going to become my card front, okay? So I'm going to go along the, score line here of the envelope itself, kind of push it up against here to keep it flat, line it up in the track, and cut. Okay, now you can keep this for something, some stamping, whatever, or throw it. I'll just put it off to the side here. Okay, so I've got that base. Now I'm going to use the flat side I have here to trim off this other flap. And gotta kind of make sure, sometimes you gotta wiggle it around a little bit to make sure it's in that track okay. Okay, we've got that one. Then I'm going to, let's see here, do the same thing. With this one. Okay, I'm going to keep this and fussy cut it. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this last corner off. Okay, and that's garbage. All right, so now I want this to be the card front. So, and I want it to be my usual 4 by 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut it first this way. No, wait, I'm going to cut this first because I'm going to keep a little decoration here for inside the card. So I'm going to cut this one first, and I'm going to cut that at the bottom. And let's see, cut this at 5 1/4. I do need to use the bottom of my trimmer for this, just so it's closer to me. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and trim that. So I'm not going to waste this. This is going to go inside my card. And now I want to make this the 4 inches this way. Oh, but I'm keeping, remember, I'm maintaining my corner here. 4. Okay. Cutting that off. There we go. Don't know that I'm going to be able to do that. But there, now we have out of that envelope a really nice card front. And now the second one I didn't cut green. So you could just do this white on white. Like that if you want. But I really liked this by doing, once again, a very thin layer of green on here because it helped the green to pop on my card front here. So let's just glue this one on. Oh, got glue on me. All right, so let's just, and once again, I'm using that skinny border just to give it a little something, but not to make it so big. And it kind of, since this is a, narrow line here, kind of mimics that. So, and then we'll actually fold our card base again. Boy, I did not do a good job of scoring those. Good news is I can fix it. Okay, and then I'm going to put, let's see. This onto the card base. I don't know if I want this to be portrait or landscape yet, so that's why I'm going to put the berries down in this corner. Give it just a little slide here. Okay. And then to finish this off, so that's that card front. Here's what I am looking at. Now this opens, remember, this way. This actually fits perfectly on the bottom. So I'm going to glue that in. Now I know this is more than just the card base, but since this is the last one, I'm going to start the finishing process. So there is that. And then I have this that I fussy cut, and either it can go on the front here, on the front there, or it can be inside here. Now, you know what? That doesn't go straight because it was on the envelope. So I'm going to just cut this straight so that I can put it in the corner. I kind of like that inside the card here. Hi, Holly. Glad you like it. Okay. So out of the envelope, there's a card. Now you'll have to add 10 envelopes, obviously, to this to be able to get all of this out of there. And so this will be the similarly put together one, but I won't take the time to do that. But I will make it just the same, okay? So now let's go to the other cards that we've put together, the other 10. So we've got 2 like this, right? Now let's go ahead and figure out what we want to do with these. So now what I'm going to do is kind of lay them out. And I'm going to figure out how I want to embellish these. Are these just going to be sentiments only? Are they going to have something else on them? And I have little scraps here that I can add to them. I have for 2 cards, I took that amount of die cuts that I have to separate on here. And then the other thing I did, the main stamp on here is the cardinal. So I stamped 6 cardinals. I haven't colored them in yet, but what I'm going to do as I'm trying to plan out the rest of these cards, I'm just going to cut these apart and know that I do or don't have, an available cardinal, and I can always stamp more, but I just thought I had this scrap from cutting out the white for one of the card bases that I would just go ahead and stamp a bunch of these. So they're ready to go. Now this would be nice with the Nests of Christmas suite because they don't have a cardinal stamp. Now you would have a cardinal stamp that you could use with those papers and the other birds in that set. Okay. So let's figure out, where do I want to put, I have the cardinals, I have the die cuts here. Actually, I know you can't see this because of where my face is on here. This came up just a little bit wrinkled. I think it got caught on something when it was getting put in the package. And so I want to make sure I cover up that little corner. So I wanted to take the one piece of this branch and use it for here. So I don't know if there, that takes care of that imperfection I didn't like in that card. Okay. So there we go. I've got that there. Do I want to use, something like that and do one of my colored, a little bit smaller cardinal on there? I've got this large cardinal that is so pretty. I think I like that on this one that pops. Let's see. I think a cardinal on here. Oh, a deep red cardinal on this one would go great. Let's see. Now this one's interesting because it is set to, have this go on it. But if I want to use one of these on its own, or maybe put that with the foliage on there. The other thing I can do with this to make it look the way it is, I'm going to cut this out and just place it a little bit closer to that so it looks like it belongs there, because this has the space to cover it up. So I'm going to re-fussy cut it, take a die cut and fussy cut it to be the way that I want it to be. So I can use this just a little differently than it was originally designed, right? So I've got that bird cut out. And now I just want to take out this extra white on here. Get a little bit closer to these pine boughs. I'm going to put the bird over the center here. And there, that part was easy. Oh, and the other thing is maybe, let's see. It might be nice on that arch. There. Okay, so those are done. Let's see. So putting the red cardinal in here, and you know, I can do some of these are cut out so I could do some bows on the front of that one. This one can just be set up by itself. And I'll have to decide if I want to do how I would like to do a greeting on here. This one, I think I might just do a greeting and leave this one as is or find some ribbon. We've got that branch on here. And we'll have a cardinal there. Yeah, I've got enough cardinals. Perfect. All right. And then where do I want to put? So maybe I want to add a little of the red onto this one. That'll really pop this, right? And where do I want to put? This one's kind of plain, so I think I'll put an embellishment on there and decide where this cardinal is going to go. There. And then I can look on the inside of these cards and use all of these little strips. So let's just, very easy to, let me just take this one and get a scrap here. And let me quickly color this. So I have my Real Red Stampin' Blends. Now these are our alcohol markers and light and dark. And when you color these, the unique thing with the alcohol markers is it does shading for us. So the cardinal will look a little more interesting. And you can decide to start with dark and go to light or light to dark. Now I like to go light to dark. So I'm going to take the light Real Red and I'm going to use I guess I'll use a little bit of the brush stroke here, and always make sure to put something under the cardstock that you're coloring because it will bleed through and you wouldn't want to be accidentally on top of one of these cards, right? So, and you want to stay inside the black lines. And I want a little bit outside of this one already, but there is a color lifter that will help you to make that tighter to the line if it does go over for you. And I'm just going to color this all in the lighter red. Now this is a really nice stamp set. So the thing I love about Paper Pumpkin is every month I add to my stamp sets. And they usually have really nice sentiments. And so it's just kind of a bonus. Not only do I get projects, but then I have additional supplies for stamping at a later date. Okay, so I've got my cardinal all colored with red. The other thing is you could do black stamping on red cardstock and then cut this out. The thing is you would have to cut right to the edge because you don't have the white border. And then you'd have to cut out a beak. But I decided I wanted this to look a little bit different, so I decided to put it on the white. And now I'm just going to do a little bit of shading over where the artists have already helped me with shading on the wings and on the tail. And then a little bit on the, the outline of the bird. right? They got a little shading there too from the artist. It gives it dimension when it's on your card. Okay, but now we don't want this to look like we made a line on here. So now we take and go back to the light, and I go in little circles, and it kind of blends that line between the darker and the lighter real red. And you get the dimension, but not the, you don't really see that line of coloring. So I think you can, see the shadow around the outside and the outline of the bird. And then I'm just going to take my Daffodil Delight here, the dark one, and do his beak. All right. And we'll go ahead and just fussy cut. And I go really close, but outside of the black line so that you do see the outline of the bird. And once again, when you fussy cut, I hold my scissors pretty much in the same place and go ahead and move the paper. And that makes for a smoother cut because you don't move your scissors off of the paper. Because you wouldn't want the line that you're creating with your cutting to look choppy. That would make it look messy. Okay. So there we go with that. Let me get these pieces out of here. And with this red ribbon under here and then doing that, might be nice to even just set the cardinal right on there, okay? But as I said, I can continue to do this for all these cards. Now, for me to go through and make all of this, I think what will be best is I will actually post the picture of all of these cards made after I finish them so that you can see all of the finished results. Right, Betty, you are so right. We can get so many different cards out of this kit. So if you take it, with the 10 cards, so the envelope and getting 4 cards out of every one, actually we're going to get 50 cards out of a kit that was designed for 10. So 50 cards, that could really help take care of your Christmas card mailing list, right? All right. So any other questions, comments before I close today? Because like I said, I'll continue to work on these, but I will post them so that you can see them all. And actually, I'll put a series of pictures of these in my weekly email next week, too. Some, I don't know that they're all going to have birds. We'll kind of see what happens in the end, but I'm really happy that I've got all these cards. Don't forget this pretty one too. I think I'll just set it kind of right here. And then I've got the other one that I'm going to put some green behind. But literally there is 10 cards made out of 2. So you're stamping cardinals as you watch. Great, Kathy, way to get started. All right, so let me go back to this and just say, I am so glad you joined me today. I hope you liked learning how you can go about making multiples out of one kind of card, how you can, pick a couple colors of cardstock and put them together with a focal image that you really like, but all your cards can look different. Or if there's one card look you really like, make them all the same. But bottom line is stamp, have fun, and just plain love it. Okay. So I'm Traci Raether from Plum Crazy Stamping. It's my job to make stamping easy for you. Don't hesitate to reach out at Traci, Traci, at plumcrazystamping.com if I can help you in any way. So take care, friends. Happy stamping, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week when we'll have some more fun together. Take care now. Bye-bye.